It's central London, it's finally sunny, and it can mean only one thing: spring is here. And that means all of the publishers are about to show off their latest wares for the rest of the year. It's EA's turn today, and they've got Dragon Age Origins, Saboteur, and a bunch of sports titles including Fight Night and FIFA. So let's head inside this empty shell of a building and see what they've got in store. All right, guys, we're joined by Alex Navarro now, who works for Harmonix. Oh, was that introduced correctly? I think just about that'll do.
That'll do just fine.
That'll cover it all. You may remember him used to work for GameSpot, and now you're kind of working.
I don't remember that.
You're working for the coolest company in.
I am indeed working for one of the more fun developers you could possibly work for.
And you're over in London making your appearance.
Indeed.
So tell us about Rock Band Unplugged for the PSP.
So Rock Band Unplugged is what we're considering sort of a marriage between like the Rock Band look and feel, the sort of flavor of the game, with some gameplay that might be familiar to people that are that have known our older franchises like Frequency and Amplitude for the PS2. So it's the same sort of like beat matching, track switching gameplay mixed in with like tracks that you know and love from Rock Band and from Rock Band 2 specifically, and our DLC catalog, as well as 9 new tracks that are exclusive to the PSP for a limited time. If you're playing a game with an instrument peripheral, you know, you want to feel like a rock star. You know, you want to feel like you're playing the guitar, playing the drums or whatever, and it's like doing this with your PSP or this, you know, just doesn't really have that same feel to it. You know, it's like you're playing a ukulele or something. That's, while a ukulele is pretty awesome, that is not as awesome. So, you know, it's about finding a way that just sort of, you know, finding a way to interact with your music that makes sense in the context of the console that you're playing. And I think that, you know, with what we've done here with Unplugged really makes sense within the context of people playing the PSP on the go, you know, on the train or the bus to work or stuff like that.
And you guys have said, you know, you're pretty hard at work on Rock Band Beatles at the moment.
Indeed.
So there's no other Rock Band this year. This is the big one for you guys.
Yeah, I mean that is our big Rock Band product for the year, and I mean, you know, it doesn't really get much bigger than the Beatles, man.
No, and it's 90909, isn't it, as well?
It's perfect. Fits symmetry. So can
you tell us how that's coming along at the moment and how it plays out for the UK market as well?
I mean, all I can really say right now is that, like, you know, having seen the game and having played a lot of it myself, I'm kind of over the moon excited about it. Like, it's just, it's coming together in a really awesome way, and we'll have more details on it really soon, like, you know, in the not too distant future for sure.
Okay, and Rock Band Unplugged is out as we say fairly soon, and it's launching alongside some DLC as well.
Yeah, we're actually the first PSP title in North America or Europe to have any sort of like in-game commerce system. So you'll be able to download tracks just like you would in the console titles. We'll have 10 tracks available at launch, and then we'll have, you know, more in the future.
The mask was forged from the steel flesh of the fire beast himself. To summon a warrior into this world who would lead our armies to brutal victory. It was made for a god, not for you. Not for a roadie.
I've always loved the music, and I've always loved games, and I've always thought they should relate in some way, and I've been kicking around these ideas for years.
The tale of rock is long and fabled.
Brutal Legend is a really big game, and it does have a lot of variety and a lot of custom stuff. Like, each experience in it is kind of new. It doesn't repeat a lot of stuff over and over again, so we had to come up with a lot of different ideas for enemies and different characters you meet in different situations. But Double Fine's a very creative company, has a lot of people besides me coming up with great ideas for the games, and everybody has their own kind of pet enemy or someone they've inserted into the game, and really it's a really fun game setting because anything can happen in the world of Brutal Legend. It's just the most crazy. If you can see it on a cover of a heavy metal album, then we can have it in our game. So we can just throw everything in there, and we don't have to worry about it necessarily making sense. As long as it's cool, it goes in the game. I always want to make a real living, breathing world that, like, In Psychonauts, you could explore the campgrounds a little bit, and there's some fun things to find. There's an old truck in the woods. It has no gameplay purpose. It's just fun to find that, just like it is in real life when you're a kid to find something in the woods. And but we still had load screens, and we had some limitations to that exploration. And here in Brutal Legend, we were able to make a streaming world, no load screens, and you can drive to the top of the Thunderhorn or all the way over to Battersmith, and you can go to all these locations and find little secret areas that have a character who you can just talk to, or maybe they have a secondary mission for you, or there's a creature that you can take over and commandeer and ride around, and just it all exists, and the sun rises and sets, and there's heavy metal meteor showers, and all sorts of things just happen, and that's been really rewarding because the idea of making a real world has always been something I wanted to do, and now we've finally done. In the game, you have what's called the Deuce, or AKA the Druid Plow, which is a hot rod that Eddie builds in the game, based on ancient hieroglyphics he finds that clue him in on how to build it. It was just really handy to have because it takes you all around. We have 64 square kilometers of open world space to explore, and the car helps you get around. It also helps you navigate. The turn signals on the car help you know what direction to go to reach your next mission or objective. We're using Lemmy Killmaster in the game. He plays the Killmaster, kind of a play on his name. And he is a kind of reclusive hermit who plays music on his bass that is so beautiful it heals people, it heals the wounded, and returns them to their feet and to the battle. And you recruit him to join your army, and he's kind of a loner, and he stays up with this crazy room-size harp-like bass that he plays all by himself up there. And you build him a modern-day bass that he can take, and then you build him a motorcycle that he can drive, and so he joins this mobile unit in your army that way. I mean, it seems like every time we add another icon of heavy metal, or some big name to the game, it makes it seem bigger and it tracks even more, and it's kind of like a snowball effect where we managed to get names that really surprised me that I didn't think we'd ever be able to get, or that I would ever meet in my life. In fact, if I was going to, at 15, write down a list of everyone I wanted to meet in the world, I've been able to meet them through this game, and it's just been really rewarding and fun. Brutal Legend is coming out in Rocktober 13th in the US and 16th in the UK and the rest of Europe.
I'm supposed to think you're a nun, but I know you're really some kind of big, ugly demon, so let's have it. Aha! I knew it! Big, ugly demon. Kind of sexy, though, in a weird way.
That's it from us in London. Now EA have promised lots more at this year's E3, including lots of more juicy, sexy times from BioWare. So we'll see you again in June for more from EA.